I take my leather portfolio and I go thump, like that. And I throw it up. I was like, thump, like that. And so it's just, and I'm like, okay. And then I like backed up like 4 or 5 feet. And I was like, and I ran in, I like got it wrong. So I jumped up and I like crawled up and I'm in my slacks and my like whatever and my button up and I'm crawling on this dirty garage floor. And I get up and I like pick up my leather portfolio and I'm like, and I like turn around and there's like 8 sets of eyeballs just staring back at me. And people are like just in the garage, they're like staring at me. And they're like, I was like, is Steve here? And they're like, no. I was like, all right.
Welcome to the LiveWire podcast, powered by Family. Join us as we explore the untold stories behind America's electrical infrastructure, sparking conversations about life, safety, business, and innovation. Brought to you by OEL.
So you bought a leather jacket?
Yes, I bought a leather jacket. And so what happened was I was at A&M at the time, and I went to the Buckle. And I was just coming home. And so I went in there and I saw this gray leather jacket. And the little guy that was working there, he had like 3 cans of gel in his hair and he had an Affliction t-shirt on. And I go in there and nobody had like touched this leather jacket. Like it was just sitting over there. Huh?
This is at the Buckle?
Yeah, it's at the Buckle. And I walked in there and I got, I was like, dude, that thing looks sweet. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try that on.
I need that jacket.
I did. And so I tried it on. I remember I was standing like in the changing room and I put it on and I looked at myself. I was like, yeah, that looks really good.
Like I'm a hot stack of meat with that thing on.
I was like, man, that's pretty nice right there. And so I came out and he was like, bro, that jacket is you, dude.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I came out and like 3 other people that worked there, they're like, oh man, that looks so good on you. And I was just like walking around. I was like, yeah, that does look good. And then I had the gray leather vest under it. And then I bought gray pants. And so I walked out of there. I think I wore the stuff out of the store. That's how like good I felt about it.
You're like, just cut the tags off. I'm walking out of it.
Dude, I was like, I felt so good about it. And like, I was like, you know, when you're at home and you put something on and you like look at yourself, you're like, dude, that's
like I shouldn't be allowed in public with this on. I'm so good looking.
I'm so money right now. Like, oh my goodness, like I look fantastic. And so, but then we also have those days where we like get ready. It's like, dude, I look like
nothing works. I can't do anything.
I'm staying home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back into bed.
I'm gonna bury my head in the sand. And so like, and then, I don't get it why it's days where it's like, dude, I look so hot. And then like, there's other days I'm like, God, I look so terrible. And so then I left there and I came home. And at the time, the girl I was with, she saw me and she was like, what the hell are you wearing? And I walked through the airport. Like, I was like, I wanted everybody to see me.
Yeah, your confidence cup was overflowing.
It was, oh man, it was like, it boiled over. And I was like, I remember she said, like, what are you wearing? And I was just like, what, you don't like it?
Like the guy at the Buckle said I looked amazing.
I was like, dude, everyone at the Buckle loved it. And she was like, no, it looks terrible. I was like, oh man. I remember like, I felt so good about that. But I've had that before. Have you ever been through the Target self-checkout camera?
I try.
Have you ever done? Yeah, exactly.
You like, no. Yeah. You can look at yourself for a second. You're like, no, pretty good. You're like, not bad today. Good. You're looking pretty good. But
that's when you're at home. But then you go through Target self-checkout and you look up and it's like, oh my goodness. Like you just look terrible.
Oh yeah. You're just hanging on by a thread.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, dude, why? Or the worst for me, that's part of the reason I don't have social media is because I will, once again, think I look really good. And then I see a photo of myself and I'm just like, really? That's what we look like? Like you talk about false confidence. And so then my day's ruined.
I don't understand how like sometimes like I'll take a picture and then other times I'll take a picture like the same day and I look like 2 totally different people.
Oh, totally. Right. So, it sucks. It's the worst thing. It'll ruin my day. That's why I avoid it. I hate it.
I worked at Buckle when I was in college and they teach you.
I didn't know you worked at the Buckle.
I did. I was a big Buckle guy. Big Buckle guy. I had the VKE jeans.
Did you get like 50% off?
I did. I got 50% off jeans and Affliction t-shirts. And it was like...
Affliction was awesome.
When they put you through the training, they literally teach you how to upsell and they do it in the most like kind of ridiculous way where the video that teaches you, hey, welcome to the team, all blah, blah, blah. And there's this girl goes into a changing room. She closes the door, and there's this little guy with like, you know, the buckled jeans on or whatever, and like the Affliction t-shirt. And he's like, "Hey, I just saw these shoes out on the floor. I thought you looked really good." And he just slides them under there, and then like.
Wait, under the changing room?
Under the changing room door. He just slides them. He's like, I'm just going to put them right here for you.
I just saw some like clothes fly.
Exactly.
And I'd be like,
and then he goes, and then like the video keeps going. And then for the next like 3 or 4 minutes, it's just him keeps coming back to the changing room and putting things on top of the door and underneath. And he just keeps sliding different shoes and jeans and then like shirts on top. And by the time the video's over, there's like a stack of shirts on top of the changing door. And they're like, and that is how we do it at the Buckle. And you're like, okay. So
it's just a stack of clothing 4 or 5 feet high.
Yeah, they never show the girl coming out like mortified by it. They're just like,
hey, try these panties on.
By the time he's done with his pitch, he's like, and that is how we do it. And like you're just like, okay,
hey, try these panties on. I think you look good in these panties.
Dude, the whole thing was like,
I saw you walking away. I think these panties would look really good.
Yeah, and your store managers would be like, somebody would walk in and stuff, and if it wasn't like you harassed them right away when they walked in the door, the store manager would be like, hey, get on that. You better go get on that. And it's just like, yeah, it was a lot.
That's how it was at Olive Garden.
Yeah.
So when I worked at Olive Garden, when people sat down, I think it was 60 seconds. You let them sit down, and then you need to be over there saying hello to them.
With breadsticks.
Yes, you could automatically just come with breadsticks. And people would usually get the salad, and the amount of cheese I graded on salad. Dude, I at one point I was like, I think I'm gonna need shoulder replacement because I would be grating so much cheese. And like the joke I would make sometimes, I'm like, do you guys want some salad with your cheese? And like they would just want so much cheese. And that was like immediate. Like people would just sit down. The best thing that ever happened to me there though, and it is literally like the movie Waiting. It is literally like when you're out there, you're very nice to your customers, and then you go back in the kitchen and everyone's just talking just crap about everybody. Oh, but anyway, I had a Catholic priest come in one time, and he comes in, he sits in my section. And he kind of throws his bag in or whatever, he, tosses in kind of nonchalantly. And it's like one of my last tables of the night, but I come up to him and I usually start off like, hey, I'm Forrest, we'll be taking care of you. And he didn't even let me get through that. I was like, hey, sir, I'm Forrest. He was like, margarita on the rocks with salt.
The priest?
The priest. Oh, he had the white square on and everything. He's like, margarita on the rocks with salt. I was like, okay. And so I just went, I got him one, I bring him one. I bring him 2.
Oh no.
And by the third one, I was like, long day of confession, Father? And he goes to sip it and he just gives me the eye roll. He's like, oh my God. I was just like, dude, the stuff that guy must have been listening to in that box that day. And so it was funny. He was hammering those margaritas. So
what was the best job you had versus OEL?
Olive Garden, for sure.
Was it the best job or just like the funniest?
That was the most fun.
Why was it so fun?
Well, it was just the community. It was literally, once again, it was like the movie Waiting, where everyone gets together, right? You're all working or whatever. And then after, everyone just goes out and it's in college and everyone just spends all their tip money and gets drunk or whatever. But it's just 2 different worlds that exist when you're out on the floor and you're hanging out with your customer or the tables or whatever. It's a totally different world. And then you go back into the kitchen.
Oh, it's just crazy.
Oh, it's just nuts. It is like when you're out there, it's total like professional. Hey, how are you doing? Like I said, what can I get you? Okay, sure. Let me do that for you. And then people would come back and be like, this effing, like the people, they were just nice. They're like, effing table, the douchebags or this or that. And so it was fun. And man, we used to, at Olive Garden may get mad at me. We may get sued by Olive Garden for this. And so what we would do is like people order like calamari or whatever. And we would just sit back there before we took it out to them. We'd eat like 4 or 5 pieces of it. Like as we would take it out to them, like I'd be eating their calamari and then I would take it out to them. And man, sometimes the people you get in Olive Garden, like it's a different crowd.
Did you ever like take a salad and you get the salad off the line or whatever, and like a tomato falls on the floor and you're like, oh, whoops, and just pick it up and put it back on?
No, we never did that. No. That I didn't ever do that. But I would try and get people's desserts away from them. Like I would take them a dessert and they wouldn't eat it. They wouldn't touch it for a while. And I'd be like, hey, you guys done with that? Because I just want to take it back and eat it. And one time, like, these people got mad at me. They're like, this is like the 4th time you asked us about our chocolate cake. Because like I hadn't eaten and I wanted the chocolate cake. And so they would get frustrated with me because I kept trying to like get it away from them, go take it in the back and like eat it.
Would you purposely just like not eat throughout the day knowing that you might eat at Olive Garden for free?
Oh yeah, I always did that. Like always, or I would steal fagioli soup like all the time. I would take the gnocchi, and that's when I got so fat.
Because you were just found in Olive Garden.
I would eat breadsticks, gnocchi, fagioli soup all the time, and I would just like take that stuff. And you were allowed to a few times, but I would take it too much. And one time they made pizza. My manager had like pizza made, and what it was for the customers, and he cut it up into real small pieces, and he made it for the people in the lobby that were waiting to get seated. It was them to just have to snack on. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Oh, you thought it was fake?
Yeah, I thought it was for all of us. I was like, dude, they made pizza. And so we went in there and like I was hammering, and people were like, isn't that for the customers? I was like, no, they made it. And I didn't. I was like, no, it's for us. And so I started just eating it, and I ate like a 4th of it, like just by myself. And then I had to go get back to my tables. And then I come back and it's gone. I mean, everybody ate it. And the manager's like, where's the pizza? It's for the customers. And they're like, oh, Forrest ate it. And I was just like, what? Like no loyalty whatsoever. And then I got chewed out for that. Like there were so many things like I look back on like, God, dude, I was just such an idiot. And like, I just could do no right. And, but my tables would like me. And so I would have good reviews about me. So they couldn't really get rid of me, I guess, in a way. But yeah, I would piss the managers off. I never really pissed off my coworkers, but I really like the pizza thing. I'd piss off the managers a lot and stuff like that. What was your favorite job like that you had?
Probably.
Was it the buckle?
No, it wasn't the buckle. Let's see.
I'm trying to think what you did in high school.
I learned how to sleep standing up, which was crazy. When I was working in LA, I was at I was a doorman for the Celine store on Rodeo Drive, and I would be so tired going into that show or going into that.
Why would you be so tired?
Because you would have to be there at like, I think like 7 a.m, which doesn't sound that early now. But when you live in LA, no matter what distance you're going, it's going to take you forever. Well, like no matter what.
In LA, you're partying, you're going out.
Right. So
I remember in college, real quick, I used to stay out all night. And I remember I told myself, I was like, dude, I'm going to start waking up early. I'm going to get up at 9.
I'm not going to sleep till 11.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to sleep till. I remember I woke up at like 9 a.m. I was like, oh my gosh, I got so much done that day. I was like, I have the whole day. Like, so for me, that was early, but 7 a.m. was early for you.
Yeah, I'd get there. I usually get there, like I was supposed to be there at 7. I usually get there about 7:08, 7:10, somewhere in that ballpark. The store's already opened at this point. And I'd run there. And I would be so tired. And it's like when you're in LA, you're doing the hustle. So you're doing modeling, you're doing acting, you're doing.
What store was this?
This is called Celine.
Celine.
It's a high-end retail store. Like, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 handbags. And like Kendrick Lamar for the halftime show, the jeans, those little like bell-bottom jeans he's wearing, those are Celine jeans. Okay. And they're just, I don't know how much they are, but they're stupid expensive. And so I'd go in there and I'd probably get it through the first like maybe 45 minutes before I started just kind of like dozing off and stuff. And my job technically was like, I'm a doorman, right? So I'm in a suit or whatever. And they would just basically be like, hey, thanks, welcome to the Celine store and stuff. And they'd walk in. I literally could figure out how to fall asleep where I could like lean my head or like my lower back just against the wall enough to kind of just let myself just doze off forward. And I'd slowly snap myself out of it constantly. And my shift was only 4 hours, but I would be exhausted that whole time. And it was just like, yeah, that was probably like the most boring job I've ever had, where I'd just be like, I don't know. But you'd have like celebrities walking in constantly and you're like, oh, it's Kelsey. Oh yeah. Oh, hi. How's it going?
Yeah.
And then door-to-door salesman selling pest control and rancher.
I love these stories.
These are the hardest ones because like nobody wants to talk to you, and you're at their door banging on it, trying to sell them pest control. And like I did okay by comparison, but I was out there with Sterling and then a couple of other buddies, and they put us up in a house. And it was when I was 18. They put us up in a house, and I had.
Did they pay for the house?
They paid for the house. They paid for your lodging and stuff. So
that's nice.
The only thing you had to pay for was your food and your gas to go knock doors. And it would be in the middle of summer, and it was 110 degrees plus in Rancho Cucamonga. And
is that nice?
No. Well, there's a couple nice areas, but no, it's like there's Fontana, there's all this, it's Riverside County. It's like it's pretty sketchy.
Is it where like in LA is that located? Or not LA, but California? Is it in Southern California? Is it Northern California?
It's inland a bit. It's like close. You're going towards the desert, basically.
Okay.
So it was just super hot, and we would all just get so disenfranchised working. At one point, we couldn't afford to put gas in the car to drive around in, and so our buddy Pierce had AAA, or his parents did, or something, or he had it on their account. And AAA, if you ran out of gas, they would bring you a gallon of gas. And so we would constantly just run out of gas and have AAA come and get us and like fill up our gas tank. And then Chick-fil-A.
You guys were that broke?
Oh, we were so broke. And then Chick-fil-A, when I actually got money, I was super diligent with it.
You guys would purposely just like, dude, we'll call AAA. They'll come give us gas.
Yeah, every week they would pay you a little bit just to let you, basically, just to keep you alive.
Like survive.
Yeah, so here's some survival. Like, here's $80.
Yeah.
Like, we're paying for your room and board. This will buy you maybe a little bit of groceries if you go to the dollar store.
Yeah.
And so we would...
Oh, that's so funny.
We would purposely run out of gas, knowing that AAA would give us a gallon and we could get home then at that point. And then we'd do it again the next day, and then so on and so on. But at the time, Chick-fil-A was running a special where the local country radio station, K-Frog out there, would if you went to any Chick-fil-A, you could say K-Frog and they would give you a free chicken sandwich. And so what we would do is first thing in the morning, we'd go to the Chick-fil-A down the street and we'd walk in and we'd all say K-Frog and they would give us a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And then we'd go through the drive-through and tell them K-Frog again. Then we get another chicken sandwich. Now we got breakfast. Now we got lunch. Then we take our shirts off and we'd go back through the drive-through again and yell K-Frog again. They give us another one. So we'd have breakfast, lunch, and dinner that way. And we just ate Chick-fil-A the whole time. But yeah, every week, if you sold anything, basically they'd give you a little bit of a commission and stuff. And so we could sell a little bit here and there, but it was so hard. And so I would spend most of my day like just exhausted by the heat and the rejections. And
it's brutal.
I would hear a faint sound of like an ice cream truck in the distance.
A trunk or a truck?
A truck. And so I would go chase this ice cream truck around for like $3, like being like, dude, give me something just to like cool down. And there was one day where I chased this ice cream truck for a good 30 minutes and stuff.
Are you chasing it on foot?
I'm on foot, dude. Yeah. No, you can't afford gas.
And you're running through neighborhoods on foot,
I'm running through neighborhoods trying to find this stupid ice cream truck. And I can't get. And there was at one point where I almost thought about scaling this neighbor's fence. And I was just like, I got to get to this ice cream truck. I was committed to it at that point.
Did it have like, it only sold ice cream, or did it have like maybe some chips you could get?
No, I don't know. All I got was ice cream. But then obviously, like, you get to the ice cream truck and...
You would do it just to cool down, or just like, because that was like another source of food for you?
It was another source of food. It was anything I could get my hands on, basically. And it was like... And then I get to the ice cream truck and it's like this chick that's got like camo pants on, she's kind of spilling out over the side of it, little tank top on, and she's smoking a cigarette. And she's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude." I was like, "How did I get here?"
You were desperate.
I was like, "Whatever, dude. Give me the bomb pop." And
the bomb pop.
And then when we did get a little bit of money, we went to the beach one day and I thought it was good. I think I had like maybe $105 to my name at that point. And there was a kiosk that was selling boogie boards for like $90, like good boogie boards. And I was like, I need a boogie board. so I bought a boogie board.
This is a good investment.
And I was back to broke.
I'll see the ROI on this.
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh, I'm in California. Obviously, I need a boogie board now.
How much did the boogie board cost?
It was like $90. I had no money up to it.
So you had $15.
I was back to zero.
So you had $15. So you have.
I might have gotten paid that day and went and bought a $90 boogie board. I thought we were going to go to the beach a ton. I thought we were going to go to the beach a ton. And
a boogie board?
Yeah.
Oh, I just love how you're flat broke. Like,
yeah.
No money. You bought a boogie board. Not food, not gas. No. You don't understand. I'm at the beach and I'm trying to have fun. I gotta have this boogie board. That's just like the funniest thing. I just love to have seen you make that decision.
Yeah, I learned financial wisdom the hard way in a lot of circumstances.
Like, you're really so broke you can't even afford to pay attention.
Yeah,
and you go and buy the boogie board.
It was.
Did you have fun?
That day, yeah, I had a great time. I brought that boogie board. Once we left California, we were only there for probably another 2.5 weeks before our boss fully fired us.
It's so
he was
funny.
we stopped working almost altogether. Like we were all so discouraged at this point that we would and it was.
Why were you so discouraged? Because you would just get rejected
it was
so much.
So hard. It was so hard to you're selling pest control and nobody wants a door-to-door salesman to begin with.
No, it's weird now.
Yeah,
and well, this is what 15 years ago.
No, I'm 35, almost 36. So this would have been 15, 16, 17, 18 years ago. Yeah.
So we're talking like I don't want to do the math, but like 2000s, 2000.
2000, it would have been 2008, summer 2008. Yeah. And what was really hard about it was that if you've ever been, those communities have like metal screen doors and you can't see into them, but you can hear the door open. Like the actual door open, and then there's like this metal screen door that you can't see through. And so you would just be like talking to this blank wall, basically,
and
trying to sell them pest control. And then all you'd hear is just the sound of the door slam. And you're like, okay, that's the end of that. And you just do that door over door over door over door over door until you're just like exhausted by it. So we finally just quit going to work. And all of the company that we worked for was like this Mormon company. And so we had this whole like crazy scare scenario where we like the last 2 weeks we were done. We were like, we're not working anymore. Like we would go to the little team meeting in the morning. We'd play knockout. We'd beat the crap out of everybody. And then we'd go back to our house that had a pool, not at the house, but like in the apartment complex that we were staying in. And we would just like, we were done. We were just like, we're not going to keep doing this anymore. Yeah. So we'd go to our little team meeting in the morning. We'd go to Chick-fil-A. We'd get all of our sandwiches. Then we'd go back to our apartment and just like burrow down for the day. We're like, we're not moving. We're stuck. And one day we were in there. Oh, we did have I think a PlayStation, and we had NHL Hits. So we would play that like nonstop. And one day we're sitting there towards the end of our time there, and we hear a knock on the door, and we knew we were working for Mormons. And we were like, oh my God, they found us and stuff. And we look out the window and we see these guys like in like, like the white button down shirts and like the tie or whatever. And like the name tag. And we're like, dude, they sent spies. Dude,
that's LDS right there.
We're literally like hiding underneath like the windows being like, dude, they can't see us in here and stuff. I mean, it was a fun experience.
Turn the PlayStation off.
Yeah, turn everything off. Everybody turn the lights off. Just sit down. Don't move. Nobody move. Like we're
on the floor.
We're under fire. And so it was an interesting experience for sure. But to be fair though, I did learn a lot. It was like, that whole entire scenario was like brutal, awful, but I did learn like the value of like being able to work through rejections, even though I didn't necessarily finish the whole entire project clearly for the summer. But like it did teach me a lot about door-to-door sales. It did teach me how to read people really quickly. But I had people like chase me off the steps before. I had people like get in my face. Like,
wait, you had people chase you off the steps?
Dude, they teach you all these different things when you're doing door-to-door, which is weird. It is, and I do actually think it's really intrusive the way that they kind of teach you this. Not that it's necessarily a bad way, but like you're trying to basically break through immediately to create some type of likability, conversation, anything that you can think of that will get them to essentially entertain the idea of potentially signing on for a pest control thing, right? And so whenever I get door-to-door salesmen right now,
you're easy on them. Do you go easy on them?
Yes and no. What I'll sometimes do is I'll stop them like midway through it and be like, look, I know what you're doing. I know what the next strategy is here. I know where you're going next with this.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and beat you to the punch. I'm going to tell you I'm not interested, but I appreciate what you're doing. I know this is hard work. And I'll kind of just move them on their way. And then
so
I'll offer them like a bottle of water or something like that.
What would it take for you to like maybe consider this?
So one of the things they taught us was like when you get, if they've got the door open, right, you really want it to feel like we're having a conversation and that we're buddies and stuff, and we're going to kind of have we're going to get to know each other, right? Like you should trust me now. And one of the guys told me, he was like, dude, one of my favorite moves is like, I will like, kind of like lean up against their doorpost and stuff. And then another one told me, he was like, and sometimes I'll even kind of slide my foot into the doorway a little bit just so they know.
So they try to close it?
Yeah. So, well, no, this is like that, we're in an intimate space together and stuff, and we're on the same page. And so I try that. That's a bad idea. And so I try that one time, and I kind of like lean in on his doorpost a little bit and stuff, and I'm talking to him, and I stick my foot sort of in the doorway or whatever. He tries to slam the door on me, and I'm like, and my foot's in the doorway.
Yeah.
And he loses his mind on that. And he's like, then he's like, start slamming the door on my foot, and I'm like trying to get my foot out of there, and then he just like starts chasing me off, and he just starts yelling at me, cursing at me on the street and stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is wild now. So it was like you learn a lot in the sense of like just dealing with people in a cold scenario. So
it hurts the ego.
Oh my gosh, my ego was shot the whole time. It was
just you think you suck. You're like, because
I was convinced one of the guys was lying every single time, because he'd be like, I sold 6 accounts today and stuff, and like
he would hear that.
This dude would just do it all day, every single day. His name was Jerem, and he was like a machine. Every day he'd have 6, 7, 8 sales. And I'm like, dude, what is the neighborhood that he's knocking? Like, because I'm in the crap and I can't get anything sold and nobody wants to buy anything from me. Oh, I'd lie to people about like different bugs and stuff. Like I'd be like, so like I'd like kind of like look at
it's pest control.
Like,
so yeah,
you have no idea. And I was like, there would be like flies flying around. I'm like, yeah, we can take care of those. And the guy's like, I own a pest control company. And I'm like, and he's, well, I know you can't spray for flies. And I'm like, we can. And he's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm out of here now.
Right, we'll see you later.
This is awkward. Now you got me. And I'd look up into like people's eaves and stuff and be like, oh, you see that right there? That's a blah, 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 whatever spider.
You just make it up?
Yeah, just making it up. And someone was like, they can jump out, and if they bite you, it's pretty intense. You might have to go to the hospital. There's probably brown recluses under here too. And so, which that may not be not true, but you're just looking for anything.
You're making it up as you go.
You're so in such a bad spot the whole time. You can't get around the fact that nobody really wants to talk to you, and you're just forcing yourself in on them so hard. So that sucked.
I had a similar, it wasn't pest control, but it was door-to-door freight. My first job out of college. And it was a Mormon company. And Mormons are built for it because they're spreading the gospel.
They're resilient.
They're resilient, man. And they're so nice. And I don't know, some people can just really handle rejection. Like it doesn't, I don't know if it just doesn't bother them or they can still just wear that smile out of there. Dude, my ears will droop. My tail goes between my legs. I always think like it's something to do with me. It's something I said. And I used to like when I would get rejected, I'd go sit in my car and then I'd watch like a Wolf of Wall Street scene and like try to get like some sort of
amp back up.
Amp and then try and like see like, okay, maybe I need to like do it like that, you know, and like see like if there's some techniques I can like take from this scene from Wolf of Wall Street, or like I'd watch like Boiler Room or something like that. And man, yeah, I would go up to like, it wouldn't be 10 a.m. I've been told to piss off, eat shit. And it's not even 10 a.m. and it's Tuesday. And I'm like, dude, I have 3 more days of this.
Yeah.
Like, this is brutal, man.
Sorry for interrupting you, but if you can like, subscribe, and reshare this podcast to someone you know, it'd really mean a lot to us. All right, let's get back to the episode. And what was the worst, when you were selling freight, what was the worst? Or I know some of these stories. What was there's one where you like, would you crawl underneath the garage door?
No, yeah. So, well, it's funny. Your boss like says like lean against the post or like put your foot in the door. Mine told me, because I told him I would call people. Sometimes I would like call people and just sit in the office and just get rejected over the phone because I was like, it's better than going out there. Or sometimes he would make me go out. And so I told him, I was like, dude, every time I tell them who I work with, they hang up on me right away. And because they would ask me like, who are you with? And so I would tell them, they hang up. And he was like, his strategy was like, just tell me you can't tell them that. Just tell me you're not authorized to tell them that. I'm like, wait. So when someone says, who are you with? It'd be like, I can't tell you that.
That's a need to know basis.
Don't worry about it.
That's confidential, sir.
Don't worry. You'll find out soon enough because I'll be at your place. And so I was like, are you serious? Or he would be like, oh, dude, just go through the back door. Like if you go like, because I was like, the gatekeepers were just my living hell. Like they were just like my Achilles heel. And so I'd walk in and it'd always be some gal named Tracy or something like that. And like they see me coming, I'm in my button up, my slacks. I've got my leather portfolio with me. They know exactly what I'm doing. And the sign always said no soliciting. And I remember I'd see that, I'd be like, well, whatever, just ignore that. And so I remember my first objection, and I'd get in there and it was industrial. So every guy's name is Steve or Jim or Greg, like the decision maker. And I was like, is Greg here? And she immediately, no, he's not here. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, I can see him in his office over there and he's hiding under the desk now. And so, well, they would never let me in. And so I would tell him, I'd be like, dude, I can never get past the gatekeeper. He'd be like, just go through the back door.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, so I can't tell you who I'm with, and I'm coming through the back door. So this should work. This is a recipe for success right here. And so I'd go through the back door, dude. And I remember I went through one time, and there was this guy. I walked by his office, and there it is, like, you know, Dave or whatever. And I walked by, and I'm like, I like poke my head. I'm like, hello. And he's like, he has his hand on his mouse, his keyboard. He's like, who the hell are you? And I was like, yeah. And I had my spiel. I had my business card. I was like, I'm Forrest, you know, can't tell you who I'm with, but I'm Forrest. And I remember I went to shake his hand. I was like, hey, how you doing? And he didn't take his hand off his mouse or his keyboard. He's like, okay. And I was just like, yeah. And it was just awkward. I was just like, yeah. And I was just like, yeah. So this is what we do. You know, we can help you if they're afraid or whatever. And he was just like, okay. And he just like he just ignored me. And I was just like, God, man, it's just brutal, just awkward interactions. But the one you're referring to is I didn't want to go through the front door again. And so the back door had like leaves overgrown. So I was like, well, I'm not walking back there. And I'm in button up slacks, you know, and all that. And I see this garage door like open, and it was like a shipping dock. And so it was probably 8 feet high. So and there weren't stairs going up to it because the trucks would back up and then open up, and the guys would take the stuff off or whatever into their garage. And so I see it's open, and they can't really see me because I'm like standing close to it, but I can kind of see over. And I'm like, oh, well, I take my leather portfolio and I go thump, like that. And I throw it up. I was like, thump, like that. And so it's just, and I'm like, okay. And then I like backed up like 4 or 5 feet. And I ran in, I like got it wrong. So I jumped up and I like crawled up, and I'm in my slacks and my like whatever, and my button up, and I'm crawling on this dirty garage floor. And I get up and I like pick up my leather portfolio, and I'm like, and I like turn around, and there's like 8 sets of eyeballs just staring back at me. And people are like just in the garage, they're like staring at me, and they're like, I was like, is Steve here? And they're like, no. And I was like, all right. And I had to go back with business cards, and I'd write like bullshit notes on them all the time, like very interested, like, oh, I had a great conversation. And I'd collect them. Like,
yeah, you got to turn that into the CRM.
I had to turn them in, like, just to look like I was doing something. Because a lot of times what started to happen was I would go out to make my sales calls, and I would just go and I would just watch movies on my phone, and I would just sit in a parking lot because I didn't want to go get rejected. I was like, I just can't, I can't handle it today. Like, and I've been there, I wasn't there long, but like after doing that for like 3 or 4 weeks, like a month, I was like, I just can't walk in. I can't walk into these places.
Yeah, like, I'm done.
I can't do it. I just can't.
My dignity is so zero right now.
The ego was just so shattered because I came in college, I thought I had it figured out. All my professors liked me. I had great relationships. I remember one of my professors like, Forrest, you're the last person I'm worried about. You're going to be just fine. And then here I am, like, seeing this parking lot. I'm like, dude, I'm not fine. I'm not fine at all. And so I would just sit there and like watch movies and hang out. And then I had to be back at a certain time or whatever. And so what I would do is like that last like 30 minutes or hour, I would just run into all these business, and like the gatekeeper would be there, and I would just walk in. I'd just grab like 4 or 5 business cards and just walk out. And then I would just write BS notes on them. Yeah, I would just write ridiculous notes, and then I'd take them back to him, and he'd look and be like, yeah, this is good. This is nice job today. And I was like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'm stirring it up out
Little
there.
does he know, I've been watching Lion King and like Beauty and the Beast. Like, I would go through like animated movie phases where I would just like watch nothing but animated movies. And so, yeah, he doesn't know I've been out there. I watched Toy Story. I would just sit there, and like, in my car didn't have AC. My AC was broke, so I'm sweating my ass off.
Yeah.
Grown man sweating his ass off watching Lion King in his car in a button up and slacks.
How important do you think it is to have to go through sort of like that just boot camp of sales at the front side of like, because you're good at sales, you're really good at people, and this is what I mean, everybody always says this about you, is that like Forrest is so freaking funny, and he's so good at like just getting like entertaining out of the gate and stuff. How important do you think it is for you to go through like a boot camp training like that, where you're like, hey, this job's gonna suck, but I'm gonna like earn my stripes that way?
I tell you what, I think it's very important. It's a rite of passage. Like, you have to do it, man. You have to do it, because until you go through a really crappy job or go through like that level of sales where it's door knocking and all that, you don't have to do it long. I'm not like there where you got to go out there and earn your stripes for 3 years, but 4 to 6 months or whatever. I lasted like 4 months. It's good because once you get to a good sales job, like a good company that they actually care about you, you're so grateful and you work so much harder. And honestly, I mean, I appreciate you saying like, oh, you know, I'm funny or whatever, but I get my personality from you, Josh, Dad, you know, watching you guys and observing y'all, and then plus being the youngest, like it was my way to garner attention for myself. And so, but I got it from observing and watching you guys. And so I kind of, you know, I just took it to an extreme because being the youngest, nobody listens to me. And so, okay, let me just say something completely outrageous, has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So that way, at least they'll look at me and like acknowledge that I'm here.
It's pure attention getting.
It's pure attention getting. And
good or bad, indifferent. I don't really care. I just want the attention.
But like the older I've gotten, the more like silly I've become because Dad was silly. Dad was funny.
Yeah. Dad was,
you know what I mean?
Dad was very funny.
He had a lot of good like one-liners, and I still use those.
You know what's funny is I realize the older I get to, like how much he had so many of them just like teed up, like they were just like on his hip, ready to deploy. And he was just like, So
I remember one time we were walking around a grocery store, and you know how grocery stores, they sometimes have samples or whatever. They'll be giving out samples. One of the samples is called kick-ass juice. This girl's like 20, 21, and Dad and I were walking around together. And she's like, "Sir, do you want some kick-ass juice?" And he's like, "Yeah, all right, I'll try that." You know how Dad talks. And so he goes to he drinks it. He's like, "All right, you want your ass kicked now?" Just funny, silly. Just like, it was just funny. And so yeah, that's where. But what you learn in sales. Because that job, I wouldn't go, I mean, it's a different dynamic because I was selling a service, right? It wasn't a tangible product, right? And
so you can't put it in their hands.
Yeah, and so when I'm talking about it, people are running businesses. The last thing they want to think about is a freight forwarder, to be honest with you. They don't want to talk to me. But with what we do, we actually supply a solution. Right. And we have taken something that exists and we've made a better mousetrap out of it, like our 40 cal Black Series and all that. Like it's a better product. And so it's like, there's a lot of companies that make cell phones, right? But like when the new cell phone comes out, it's nicer than the old one and you want the new one. And so when you come out with new products that are tangible, people are like, oh, that's lighter, that's better. You made a better mousetrap essentially. And so it's easier to sell, but also, once again, just from observing you guys, it's relationship building. It's just hanging out and being buddies, like, and talking to people. I tell people, like, when I meet people, we'll talk about the products a little bit, but most of the time we're just getting to know one another. They're getting to know me. We're swapping stories about, you know, the way we grew up, because I think, once again, watching you guys have a genuine interest. I was always marveled at the way I felt like y'all could talk to anybody. I remember watching you just like interact with people, and you know, you were really popular in high school and like on student council and all this, and I'm your younger brother, and I see that and I'm like, man, everybody likes Asa. And I would see how you would behave. You would be funny, you'd be charming, you would be, you know, whatever. And I was like, I need to emulate that. Like I looked up to you guys like so much when I was old or when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, not anymore, because I just realized how much you guys dumb you are.
We weren't that smart.
Yeah. You guys are idiots compared to me. I've surpassed you in every category easily. Oh yeah. And so, but no, I would observe you guys, and you didn't know it, but like I was sitting there and I would watch, I would listen, and in my head I was like, man, I want to be like my brothers. Like I just thought you guys were like celebrities in my eyes when I was growing up. I really did. I still have, you know, a great level of, you know, admiration for y'all. And I love like getting to work with y'all, and, you know, the way we all kind of yin and yang off one another. But, you know, people say like, oh, you're funny, or like you're silly or whatever. I'm like, it's honestly, I've taken it to extreme, maybe to a degree, but it's from watching y'all.
Well, I think, it is one of those things where I do think that everybody has a pretty well-defined lane at this point, which is pretty cool to see. Like Josh is far more empathetic than I am. I'm definitely probably more on like the business driver side and stuff like that. But you're like so high on the relationship building, and the humor level is insane. Like that's the thing that we always say is there's nobody that can make you laugh as fast or as hard as Forrest can. And I think it's a gift. It's something I wish I had, because when I watch you interact, and I watch you just sort of out of the blue come up with whatever shtick you want and have the cojones to actually go kind of go for it and stuff like that. I'm like, that's hilarious. Like and it's always right at the line too, where I'm like, this is either going to be really good or really bad, but I'm willing to take the risk.
Oh, it's been bad before.
It's funny.
Oh, trust me, it's been bad before.
What's been the worst?
I've had to walk away and I'm like, oh boy. Like I walk away a lot of times, like not every time, but a lot of times I walk away and I'm like, oh my God, like why did I?
Does your mind just go like, you're just like running your race in your head that you're like, I don't care how this is going to be perceived. I'm going to get it there.
No, a lot of times. Well, like,
or do you ever end up in a joke halfway and you're like, this just is, I gotta bail.
I've gotten it halfway through a joke and I'm like, either this is really stupid and it's going to fall completely flat, or like so what goes through my head is like, because I'll meet somebody, right? Like we'll meet them at a trade show or whatever. And once again, like talking about like the small talk, like, so what do you guys do? Or whatever. That's boring. I just think it's boring, you know? So if a guy's like in shape or something like that, I'll just, ask him something about that. Like maybe something I think they'd be interested in a silly way or whatever. It's hard to like think of it top of my head. I have to like be in that moment.
I've seen you do like just people out of the blue where you don't even know them at all and stuff. And you just challenge them to a push-up contest before you even know their name. And I'm like, this is funny.
I've said to guys before that are like big, I'm like, how quickly do you think you'd kick my ass?
Yeah.
And like, they're like, oh, like a minute. I'm like, I think I'd last 2. And then here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're hanging out. And I'm like, so what do you do? Like, what are you doing? Are you eating like chickens with the feathers or feathers off? Like, what do you do? Silliness, right? But that's, once again, that comes from dad or you guys or whatever. That's something y'all would say. And so, one of the stories I tell people, I'm like, I'll say like Ace is hilarious too, because I remember, I would introduce you to people. Maybe we'd be out and about when we'd all go out or whatever. And I'd be like, hey, Asa, meet these people. And you would like get on one knee and like bow to them. And I'm like, that's just funny.
Would I really?
Yeah, oh yeah. You would get on one knee and like bow to them and be like, so nice to meet you. And I'm just like, that's funny. That's silly. And so, but most of the time people don't want to talk about, so what do you guys do? Like the small talk. I just hate it. I'd rather talk, honestly, the way I look at it, I'd rather talk about seriously your favorite animated movie. Like that's more entertaining to me. And then you do that. And first of all, I think you become somewhat memorable, but also it's just a fun connection. Now I know a little bit more about you. And then, because it doesn't just like, what's your favorite anime movie? I'm like, oh, and they tell me or whatever. I'm like, you got kids? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, are they watching that? Like the same one you watched growing up? I mean, it's just conversation. It just leads into the next question and it's easier to get to know people. And let's just be honest, it's just more fun.
I agree completely with you. It's like you're building, it's truly the essence of building relationships is not, okay, here's the thing. I can sell you this all day. Here's your bullet points on it and everything. And I agree with that. And I think there's like duality to it. It's like, there's got to be that piece of it. And there's also got to be this huge anchor point into the relationship building. And if you miss one or the other, like you can be more relationship driven and still hit that other bullet or that other piece of it, the spec side of it, or you can, and you got to have them both. And how you decide to balance that, I think, is everyone's different take on it. Ultimately.
Yeah. Well, and I think too that, when you do have that connect, people do business with people they like. They do business usually with people they like. You could even be a little bit more expensive. You could even, in some maybe circumstances, have a sub, but because they like you, and I know Asa or I know Josh, or maybe they know me or whomever, all of our, other sales guys or even the customer service guys, because they know us. Like, remember when we did that Michael Scott avatar as our customer service? People still tell me that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's funny because in a world, I mean, people go to work. It can be so boring. It can just be.
What's funny about the Michael Scott thing was people would call in asking for Michael Scott.
I know I would be like, it's just an avatar, man, and they'd be like, oh, and then they would like get it or whatever. But that's silly. That's funny and it's harmless. And I think part of the reason that I feel like kind of just let it fly most of the time. And now, but once again, there's times where I walk away and I'm like, oh, dude, like, why'd you say that? Like, you idiot. But part of the reason is because I'm safe. Because my thought is, you may not get it, and that's fine. I can go say the same thing, and they'll get it. My brothers will get it. They'll get the joke. There's 2 camps of people with me in my life. You either get the joke or you don't get the joke. And typically, I'd rather hang out with people that get the joke, whatever it may be. So I feel I'm safe. I'm like, no, you can't do anything to me. Like when I was in other jobs, like not Olive Garden, but like a corporate job for a little bit. Like I had an internship that was very corporate. I had, that internship, I can look back on some of the things I said and I'm like, oh, that went over like
the insurance.
That went over like a fart in church. Yeah. Like that was just like, just some of the things I said. I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember Cliff Kingsbury, our offensive coordinator for A&M. Handsome guy. Yeah. I'm an intern. I'm working in Houston for this insurance company. If any of them see it, they'd be like, I remember that guy. I don't know if you ever walked in a room, just everyone hates you, but like that's how it'd be when I'd walk in there. I'm like, dude, just everybody hates me. And but I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna do my job. And I remember Cliff Kingsbury, he's this handsome football coach for anybody listening or watching, the two or three people listening. And so good looking guy, really good looking guy. And I told like the Texas Tech people that were working there, I was like, man, you guys got the hottest head coach now in the country. And they were like, what? Like they thought I was weird for saying that. I was like, maybe I am weird for saying, but I was like, what? You don't think he's a handsome guy? I mean, like it was just a way for me, like, to
you're just trying to break
spark
that
a
ice
conversation.
Because
if someone said that to me, I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, he for sure, like he's a stud. And they looked at me like I was an idiot.
Yeah.
And so, point is, they didn't get the joke.
Right.
And it's a highly corporatized place, so maybe saying something like that is not acceptable.
It's
or
in the
whatever.
HR handbook that says you can't talk about.
You can't talk about that or whatever. And I was
Physical
like, dude,
features of any kind.
yeah, I was like, dude, I don't fit in here, man. Like, and it was stiff. It was really like just a stiff environment. And I guess I just didn't fit in. It was so funny because that's where like I would think back, like my professors, like I told them I had that internship. They're like, dude, you're gonna do so well. And I got there, I was like, dude, everybody, I'm crashing and burning. Everybody hates me. And I can say whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
So they put us interns in charge of like teams. Like there were several interns on this internship during that summer with this insurance company, and they put us in charge of teams. And basically, whoever could sell the most insurance wins. And we had like cubicles, but they didn't have walls, and so we were all sitting like right around, like as close as you and I are sitting to each other right now. But there'd be like 6 of us, kind of like right there, and we were all a team.
Yeah, you're in a pod.
We're in a pod, and I can reach out and literally like touch people or whatever. They're right there. And so I sent everyone an email, and I had these 6 people on my team. So I send them an email.
I think I know where this is
and
going.
I said, hey, we're a team. Let's, I'm trying to be a good leader.
Let's get a team name.
Let's get a team name. Yeah. Right. And I said, I think our team name should be Monkey Spankers. And I said, hey, whoever sends me back the best team name, I'll buy you lunch. And I was like, I have my mom's credit card, so we can go wherever you want. Don't worry about it. And I send it out. Hit send. Once again, they're all right here, right? We can all see one another. And I send it out, and I'm like,
did you sit there waiting for the joke to hit?
I was waiting, but then like 15 minutes went by. I didn't get a response. I was like, Chair, did I send that? Yes.
They're all sitting there still.
Like, oh, the email's right. Yeah.
You're like looking at everybody's inboxes.
I remember one guy.
There's my name.
There's one guy I looked over, and he was reading it. He was like, and I was just like, and then 30 minutes went by, and I was like,
You just start sliding back.
Like I was like dissolved in my chair. Like, I was just like literally like an hour went by, and I was sitting like this, like just totally
defeated. You're like that.
Defeated. Totally defeated, and totally just like, oh my, like I was just, this is so awkward, this is so uncomfortable, and I went to lunch by myself. So I guess it's Monkey Spankers.
That's funny. That's so funny.
So anyway, are we on time?
Yeah, we're running out of time right now.
Okay.
But that was funny. Those stories are so stinking funny, and I think they're so important for people to hear because it is like finding the right environment for who you are as a person and your strategy and how you decide to build things is paramount. So the fact that you're working in a family business is probably the safest place you could have been.
This is a good place for me to be. I've always thought, I was like, man, if I went anywhere else, I'm like, I don't think I'd survive. Like I wouldn't last very long. And there's people that get the joke and don't get the joke. For me, it's an extreme. It's heads or tails, paper, plastic, aisle or window, smoking or non-smoking. You either love me or you absolutely hate me. Like there is no in between. Like there's people that are like, man, Forrest is just like the best guy ever. And that's great. And then there's people like, I hate him. I think he's the biggest douchebag. Like, I think he's annoying, all this stuff. And so like, it's there is no like meet him like, I could take him or leave him. No,
yeah, but you're always well-intentioned. You're trying to make people laugh. Ultimately.
Yeah. I like to make, it's fun to make people laugh, but there is, I think you like, I don't know if there's really anyone that like really dislikes you. Like, I'm just gonna be, I have some enemies out there. I know I do. And they're probably lurking. They're probably out waiting for me outside that door. But yeah, so But once again, my personality, it's derived a lot from y'all. So it's from observing y'all. And once again, y'all are exceptional leaders of the company. And I like to try and think I'm a leader, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just there for comic relief, just the village idiot.
I think you do a great job. I think you're hilarious. I think you bring a lot of comic relief to every room. And I think that's also like, that's a superpower. That's a huge superpower. I don't have that. I really don't. I can be funny-ish sometimes, but you can literally you can turn it on with like a lead foot on the gas, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Well,
like,
I've always said,
everybody get out of the way, everybody be quiet. Like I've watched so many rooms where multiple people are engaging, and then it just goes dead silent, and it's the lights on you, and it's like, here we go. Like let's see what he's gonna come out with now, and it's fun to watch.
Where your humor's more targeted. You're more like a sniper up in the eagle's nest. You don't shoot a lot of bullets, but when you do, they tend to land.
Yeah. I wait for my moment, and then I'm like, and I'll just like. Yep, right on that. I want a headshot.
I remember one story. I don't know how much of this is going to be aired or whatever. I'll just tell it though, because I can say what I want, right?
Yeah. You've asked that twice.
Yeah, I just reassuring. But
Mom may listen to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I get nervous about that. I get nervous about that, but it was hilarious. I was sitting out in our office. You're in your office, and I can't remember what the conversation was, what was happening, but your timing, like you just called me gay out of nowhere. Like it was like because you're fat and gay, and like it was just like it was like a sniper bullet. Like we didn't see him up there, and like I took it right in the chest. Like it was just hilarious. And so you're more of that sniper mentality, and so it's just funny, just funny.
Yep.
So
well, I love working with you. I think you're hilarious, and I think you got to keep doing that. And I think your superpower is your humor, and it's awesome to watch it. So yeah, we're out of time. Forrest Dyer, Houston, sales. Good job.
Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. See you.